wealthy businessman thought he had lost everything when the woman he loved disappeared years ago. But one cold day, in a forgotten neighborhood, he found a barefoot little girl, bruised, scared, and alone, who held a secret that would change his life forever. What happened next was a battle for truth, justice, and a chance to rewrite a broken family's story. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Tell us where you're watching from, and now, let's jump into the story. Eli Turner sat quietly in the back of his black sedan, watching the city slowly change as the car moved away from the bright downtown lights. Outside the window, the streets grew darker, the buildings older, and the air heavier with cold and silence. His driver, Jacob, glanced back with concern. "Almost there, sir," Jacob said softly. Eli didn't reply. He buttoned his long coat tighter against the chill. The car rolled to a stop in front of a rundown block in a forgotten part of the city. Cracked sidewalks, broken windows, and homes leaning as if tired of standing. This was the place Eli's company planned to clear out. Eviction notices had already been sent. The city's newest plans meant progress for the wealthy, but for the people here it meant losing everything. Eli stepped out and looked around. The wind bit at his face, but it was nothing compared to the cold feeling settling deep inside him. He walked slowly down the street, each step crunching in the dirty snow. He paused in front of an old building, number 23. The paint was faded and peeling, and the door hung crooked on its hinges. On one side, spray paint spelled out, "No trespassing." Eli raised his hand and knocked sharply. "Anyone home?" There was no answer. Pushing the door open, he stepped inside. The air smelled damp and stale, mixed with something sharper, fear, maybe. As his eyes adjusted to the dim light, he saw her. A small figure crouched in the corner, wiping the floor with a rag. Her feet were bare and bruised. Her clothes hung loosely, patched and dirty. She was small, no more than 9 years old, her dark hair tangled and falling over her face. When she looked up, her eyes met Eli's, wide and full of surprise. I'm cleaning," she whispered. Eli's heart stopped. The girl reminded him of someone he had long tried to forget. "Who lives here?" Eli asked carefully. "My mom," the girl said softly. "She's at work." Eli stepped inside fully, his eyes scanning the room. It was empty, just a few blankets strung across a clothesline, some scattered food wrappers, and a faded photograph taped to the wall. It showed a young woman holding a baby, smiling softly. "How old are you?" Eli asked gently. 9, the girl replied. "Living here alone?" She nodded, then looked away. "I do school at home." Eli's gaze fell to the floor. "No books? No pencils, nothing that looked like lessons. What's your name?" "Lily." He hesitated before asking, "What's your last name?" Her lip trembled. "Collins." The name hit Eli harder than he expected. "Lily Collins," he whispered. For a moment he just stared at her. Her dark eyes held a quiet strength and something painfully familiar. Memories flooded his mind, of a woman named Maya Collins, who had once been part of his life. A woman he loved and lost. The woman in the photograph. 10 years ago, Maya had been different, bright, hopeful, and full of dreams. Eli remembered sneaking her cookies in the kitchen, stolen moments of laughter beneath the sun-dappled trees on his family's estate. But then everything changed. His mother had intervened, told him Maya wasn't right for their family, that the rumors about her were true, that her child wasn't his. He had believed her. He had turned away. And now, standing in this cold, empty room, he faced the truth he had refused to see. The little girl in front of him was Maya's daughter. His daughter. Lily. Eli's chest tightened with guilt and regret. The years of silence, the distance, the missed moments, all came crashing down. He knelt to Lily's level, his voice soft but firm. "You don't have to be alone anymore." She looked up, eyes searching his face. "Who are you?" "I'm someone who should have been here a long time ago. Outside, the wind whispered against the cracked windows. Eli made a silent promise to himself and to this brave little girl. He would do everything to make things right. As he left the building, he glanced back at Lily standing by the door, her small frame silhouetted against the gray sky. This was no longer just about business. It was about family and second chances. After that cold, silent moment in the rundown apartment, Eli Turner returned to his sleek office high above the city, but his mind stayed trapped in the shadows of the past. The image of Lily's bruised feet and haunted eyes refused to leave him. He sat behind his polished desk, staring out over the busy streets below, yet feeling far away from the world he ruled. His trusted assistant, Clara, entered quietly, holding a stack of files. "Eli, I pulled the property records and some housing aid applications from the past decade. It's a lot to sort through." He nodded, grateful for her help. "Thank you, Clara. We need to know everything about that neighborhood and about Maya Collins." Clara hesitated, then spoke softly. "There's not much on Maya. She disappeared years ago. Some say she left by choice. Others say, well, there are rumors." Eli clenched his jaw. He didn't want rumors. He wanted truth. But truth was tangled in shadows. That night, he couldn't sleep. Memories swirled, painful and raw. He remembered the fight with his mother, Margaret. Her cold words like ice. "She's just a maid. You're throwing away your future." And the cruel DNA test that broke everything. He had believed it, too scared to fight back. He had walked away, leaving Maya alone. And now, Lily was alone. But it wasn't just loneliness threatening the girl. There was someone else, a dark figure lurking in the background. His name was Thomas. The man had been living in that same building for years, a shadow over Lily's life. Rumors said he was dangerous, controlling, but no one dared speak openly. Eli's gut twisted. He called Clara into his office the next morning. "I want you to find everything on this Thomas. Background, criminal records, anything." Clara nodded. "Already started. He's got a rough history. Assault charges, theft, a record of domestic violence." Eli's eyes narrowed. "He's the reason Lily's scared. We have to act carefully." Meanwhile, Lily's days remained trapped in fear and silence. Thomas watched her closely, his presence a constant threat. Whenever she tried to leave the apartment or reach out for help, his glare stopped her. He kept her under control with cold words and worse. But Lily was strong, even if she didn't always show it. At night, she whispered to the photo of her mother, "Mom, will he ever stop? Will I ever be free?" In the darkest moments, she clung to the faint hope that someone, maybe Eli, would come back for her. Back at the office, Eli sat with Detective Grant, a seasoned officer who had helped him in the past. "Detective, I need your help. This isn't just about property anymore, it's about a little girl in danger." Grant leaned back, studying Eli carefully. "Tell me everything." Eli laid out the story, the eviction plans, the meeting with Lily, the history with Maya, and the threat Thomas posed. Grant's eyes darkened. "Sounds like a tough case, but if Thomas is abusing the girl, we'll need solid proof. Witnesses, medical reports, anything to build a case." Eli nodded. "Whatever it takes." Detective Grant tapped his pen thoughtfully. "I'll have my team discreetly look into Thomas's activities. Meanwhile, you need to keep Lily somewhere safe." That wasn't going to be easy. Lily didn't trust anyone yet, not after years of being let down. Eli called Clara. "Find a safe place, a temporary home where she can heal." Clara smiled gently. "I know just the place." As the days passed, Eli's investigation unearthed more troubling facts. Maya's disappearance hadn't been a simple choice. It had been forced. Evidence showed that Margaret, Eli's mother, had used her power to silence Maya, fearing the damage the truth could do to their family name. Eli's anger burned hotter with every discovery. Clara found letters hidden in an old box, threats Maya received warning her to stay away from Eli and his family. The last letter was stained with tears. Eli's hands shook as he read them. He had missed all this. He had failed them both. But now he was determined to fix what he could. One evening, Eli visited the rundown apartment again, this time with Clara and a few trusted aides. The door was still crooked on its hinges, the same stale air greeting them. Lily sat quietly in a corner, clutching a worn doll. She looked up as Eli entered, eyes wary but curious. "I'm here to help you," he said softly. "You don't have to be afraid anymore." Lily didn't say a word but took a small step toward him. Clara knelt beside her, offering a warm smile. "We want to keep you safe. Can you trust us?" Lily's eyes flickered. "I want to go home," she whispered. Eli's heart ached. "You have a home," he said gently. "With me." The promise felt heavy but true. That night, Eli sat alone in his office, staring at a photo of Maya, her smile bright, her eyes full of life. He whispered to the empty room, "I'm sorry, Maya, for leaving you, for leaving her." The weight of the past hung over him, but beneath it a small light of hope began to grow. Tomorrow he would fight. For Maya. For Lily. For the family he almost lost. The air in the dimly lit room felt heavy with tension. Eli Turner sat across from Thomas, the man who had haunted Lily's life for far too long. His fists clenched on the table as he stared down, the cruel expression twisted on Thomas's face. The courtroom was packed with strangers watching every word, but Eli's focus was only on protecting the little girl he now called family. Thomas sneered. "You think some fancy suit and lawyers can take me down? I've been here longer than you can imagine. This city owes me." Eli's voice was steady but fierce. "You don't owe Lily anything. You've only caused her pain and fear. It ends now." Lily sat beside Eli, small and quiet, clutching a worn teddy bear. Her eyes were wide but filled with a new kind of courage. She was no longer the frightened girl hiding in the shadows. Slowly, with each day that passed, she was learning what it meant to be safe and loved. Before the courtroom battle, Eli had taken a brave step. He brought Lily to Dr. Harper, a gentle and patient child psychologist who specialized in helping children heal from trauma. Dr. Harper's office was a warm space filled with colorful toys and soft cushions. At first, Lily barely spoke, curling into herself like a small shell. But day by day, Dr. Harper helped her find words for her pain. "Lily, you're safe now," Dr. Harper said softly during one session. "It's okay to feel scared or angry. You're not alone." Lily nodded, her small voice barely a whisper. "I don't want to be scared anymore." Eli watched from the doorway, his heart breaking and mending all at once. For years he had been absent, lost in his own regrets. Now, he was here to stand with her. Meanwhile, Eli's lawyer, David Collins, Maya's brother, worked tirelessly behind the scenes. He gathered medical reports, witness statements, and police records to build a strong case against Thomas. "Eli," David said during a late-night meeting, "we have enough to prove Thomas is dangerous and unfit to care for Lily, but it won't be easy. He's desperate and he won't go quietly." Eli nodded. "I'm ready. Lily deserves a fresh start. She deserves safety." The court day arrived like a storm. Reporters lined the steps outside, eager to catch a glimpse of the millionaire, fighting for a child from the city's forgotten edges. Inside, the judge's voice rang out clearly. "This hearing will determine custody of Lily Collins. The plaintiff is Eli Turner, biological father. The defendant, Thomas Matthews, currently her guardian, faces serious allegations." David presented evidence, bruises documented by doctors, testimonies from neighbors who had witnessed Thomas's abuse, and the history of criminal behavior. Eli's voice was calm as he spoke. "I failed Maya and Lily once. I was blind to the truth. But I'm here now to protect my daughter with everything I have." Lily's eyes met his, and for a moment they shared a silent promise, a bond forged in hardship but shining with hope. Thomas's lawyer argued fiercely, claiming discipline was harsh but necessary. Mr. Matthews provided a roof and food. He is a guardian, not an abuser. But then Evelyn, the family housekeeper who had cared for Maya and watched over Lily, took the stand. Her voice trembled with emotion. I saw the bruises. I heard Lily's cries. She was afraid of him. This was no discipline, it was terror. The courtroom fell silent. Outside the court, Eli held Lily close. No matter what happens, you're safe with me, he whispered. Lily squeezed his hand. I want to believe that. It was a fragile hope, but it was real. As the judge announced the decision granting Eli full custody and ordering Thomas to stay away, tears welled in Eli's eyes. Justice had finally come. But the battle wasn't over. In the weeks that followed, Eli made sure Lily had everything she needed. From a safe home to therapy sessions, he focused on helping her heal. He also confronted the ghosts of his past. Visiting Maya's grave, he promised to be the father Lily deserved. One afternoon, as Lily painted bright colors in the living room, Eli watched her and felt a swell of pride. She laughed, a clear, beautiful sound that filled the house with light. Dad, she said shyly, can you tell me stories about Mom? I want to know who she was. Eli smiled, sitting beside her. She was the strongest person I've ever known, and she loved you more than anything. As he told stories, Lily's eyes sparkled. In that moment, Eli knew their journey was just beginning. But together they could face whatever came next. This story shows us that courage means facing the past, fighting for the truth, and never giving up on family. Even when shadows fall, light can break through. The morning sunlight filtered gently through the curtains, casting a warm glow across the room where Lily lay sleeping peacefully. For the first time in a long while, her breathing was steady and calm, untroubled by nightmares or fear. Eli Turner sat quietly nearby, watching her with a heart full of hope and promise. The fight had been long and difficult, but it had finally ended. The court had granted Eli full custody of Lily, removing her from the shadow of her past and placing her safely in his care. It wasn't just a legal victory, it was a chance to rewrite their story, to build a life free from pain. Outside, their home, the city buzzed with its usual energy, but inside a new kind of life was unfolding. Eli made sure the house felt like a true home for Lily, a place filled with laughter, safety, and love. The first big step was school. Lily was nervous but curious. She had never attended a regular school before, having spent most of her days isolated and hidden. Eli held her hand tightly as they walked through the gates of the small neighborhood school. You'll make friends here, Eli said with a smile, and learn all kinds of new things. Lily looked up at him, her dark eyes shining with cautious excitement. Do you think they'll like me? Eli knelt down to her level. They will. You're kind, smart, and brave. That's what matters. Back home, evenings were filled with stories and warmth. Eli shared memories of Maya, the woman they both loved and lost, weaving her presence into their lives with every tale. She was strong, kind, and full of dreams. Eli told Lily one night, and she loved you from the very start. Lily hugged her teddy bear tightly. I want to be strong like Mom. You already are, Eli whispered, his voice thick with emotion. As the weeks turned to months, Lily began to bloom. Therapy sessions with Dr. Harper continued to help her heal. Slowly, she learned to trust again, to believe that not all people would hurt her. Eli watched with pride as she made friends, laughed freely, and started to dream about her future. But Eli's own journey wasn't over. The wounds of the past still lingered. The pain of what had been lost, the guilt of his absence, those weighed on him deeply. One quiet afternoon, Eli visited a small office where he met with Clara and David Collins. Together they planned something special, a foundation in Maya's name dedicated to helping children like Lily, children who had been forgotten or hurt. We'll provide support, shelter, and hope, Clara said, because every child deserves a chance. Eli nodded, feeling a sense of purpose beyond business success. This was the legacy he wanted to leave, a future where no child would have to feel alone. At home, a small surprise awaited Lily one bright Saturday morning. Eli brought her to a children's boutique filled with colorful clothes and friendly faces. "Today you get to pick anything you like," Eli told her, his eyes twinkling. Lily's eyes grew wide as she explored the racks. After a moment, she picked a soft pink dress with a little bunny stitched on the front. "I want this one," she said shyly. Eli smiled warmly. "It's perfect for you." As Lily tried on the dress and twirled before the mirror, Eli saw the fragile but growing confidence in her eyes, a sign of new beginnings. One evening, as they sat together by the fireplace, Eli took out a small, wooden box Lily had brought with her, the one that held a delicate handkerchief and a photo of Maya holding baby Lily. "I want you to have this," Eli said softly, handing her the box. Lily's fingers trembled as she opened it. "It's Mom's." "Yes," Eli said. "She loved you more than anything, and I want you to know she's always with us." Lily hugged the box close. "I'll keep it safe." As the seasons changed, so did their lives. The cold shadows of the past slowly melted away, replaced by the warmth of family and healing. Lily and Eli's bond grew stronger every day. She learned to call him Dad, sometimes stumbling over the word but always smiling when she said it. And Eli, once lost in regret and ambition, found a new meaning in being a father, not just by blood but by love and presence. One clear spring morning, the foundation they had started held its first event. Children from all walks of life gathered, their laughter filling the air like music. Eli stood beside Lily, watching her play with other kids, her smile radiant and true. "This is just the beginning," Eli told Clara. "A new chapter, for her, for us, for everyone who needs a second chance." The story of Eli and Lily reminds us all that even after the darkest nights, dawn will come. That mistakes can be forgiven and wounds can heal. Most importantly, it shows us the power of love, a love that stands strong through pain, fights for truth, and builds new beginnings. If this story touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more inspiring journeys of hope and courage. Share your thoughts and where you're watching from in the comments below. Together, we can celebrate the strength it takes to start over. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Until next time, keep believing in new beginnings.